I am the Midnight Raven. We've been doing these for the last couple of months, and today it is Easter Sunday, so I thought I would do a list challenge about Easter treats. Now, I am a big lover of chocolate, my favourite Easter treat being the classic cream egg. Would it be Easter if you didn't have a cream egg? I know people that actually don't like cream eggs. I know, shocking. But today we're going to do another list challenge, and this is from List Challenges. It's a website where they have challenges of all kinds: travel, food, movies, you name it, they have it. You can even make your own lists on that and share with people. So we're going to look at how many Easter treats have you tried. So I believe there is 51 treats altogether. We're going to go through them and discuss whether I've had them, whether I haven't had them. And you guys should comment in the chat as well and let me know what is your favorite Easter treat on this list. Or does your favorite Easter treat not even appear on this list? So let's get into the first one. And the first Easter treat we are going to be looking at is the one, the only, Cadbury's cream egg. So in my hometown that I live in now of Swaffham, they are actually doing deep fried cream eggs, a bit like where they do deep fried Mars bars up north. My local chippy has decided to deep fry Cadbury's cream eggs. Now, I'm all for a lover of the extreme, but even I haven't ventured into deep frying my cream eggs. Not yet, anyway. But let me know if you've had a deep fried cream egg or a deep fried Mars bar. Next, we have Peeps. Now, I've never actually had Peeps before, but I hear they are like 99.9% sugar, and you are either a lover of Peeps or a hater of Peeps. Obviously, Peeps is an American Easter thing. We do sell Peeps in the UK, but you've got to go to like specific stores just to get them. Obviously, a classic, again, Cadbury's mini eggs adorn every Easter nest and every Easter cake you will find over Easter. They do seem to have shrunk. I'm not going to lie, the bags nowadays seem to have more air than mini eggs, but that is a sign of the times where inflation rises and the bags deflate with contents. Next, we have Reese's mini chocolate Easter eggs. Now, I cannot have Reese's because I'm allergic to nuts, and Reese's contains peanut butter. But in America, Reese's is a big Easter thing. Peeps, Reese's, I think they're probably the staples of when it comes to Easter. My son absolutely loves Reese's Pieces and stuff like that. Next, we have the Malteser Bunny. Now, I've tried the Malteser Bunny maybe twice. I'm not a big lover of Malteser Bunnies. I don't mind Maltesers in their normal form of the Malteser balls, but I'm not a big fan of the chocolate bunny, and I know they're trying to go with the whole Easter bunny theme. But I don't find the chocolate as good when it's not in the ball shape. I don't know why. Whether it's slightly different mixture, I don't know. Next, the Lindor egg. Now, I've never had a Lindor egg. I've had Lindor bars when they're in the long bars, but I've never actually had Lindor eggs before. But there is a supermarket near me, and I think it's a giant Asda, and they actually have like an entire Lindor section where you can pick your own eggs and make a box up of them, which I thought was kind of cool, but different. They do a lot of Lindor eggs now. You can get everything from milk, salted caramel, dark milk, white. They do like a whole range of Lindor. Next, we have chocolate Easter basket cakes. Again, some of this list will have American style, and then you've obviously got the vanilla Easter basket cakes. In the UK, Easter baskets are slightly different. I think this is like a sponge thing, like a sponge cake maybe with like a thing in the middle. I'm not quite sure. I've never tried them. They do look nice, so I do like the sprinkles and the chocolate. I'm not a fan of vanilla flavored stuff though. So moving on, we have Easter nest cookies. Again, I've never had Easter nest cookies. I don't necessarily connect cookies and Easter together. Easter cakes, if you don't know what an Easter cake is, or Easter nest, it's made with chocolate, cornflakes, golden syrup, and mini eggs, depending on what you decorate yours with. But I've never had an Easter nest cookie, although they do look nice. Next, we have foiled Easter eggs. So these are basically, if you don't want necessarily an entire Easter egg, you could just have these little foiled mini eggs. They're probably cheaper than the traditional mini eggs or even a big egg. If you just wanted a little taste here and there and then spread it out instead of having a giant Easter egg. Obviously, the classic giant Easter egg. Everybody has probably had an Easter egg in their life, unless you obviously don't like chocolate, and why wouldn't you? There are people out there in the world who are actually allergic to chocolate. Would you believe they miss out on so many good chocolates? My favorite chocolate Easter egg used to be a crunchy one. I always used to have a crunchy Easter egg because I used to like getting a crunchy bar. Next, we have the traditional hot cross buns. Now, me personally am not a fan of hot cross buns. For me, it's the waxy texture, I call it, on top that I don't like. I don't know why. It's just whole texture to it on the top. It's got that kind of like, I call it a waxy texture. I'm not really sure how to describe it, but I'm not a big lover. I've had a hot cross bun before and I wasn't overwhelmed. Nowadays, you can get anything in a hot cross bun. I think it was M&S that were doing chocolate hot cross buns. They were doing Biscoff kind of hot cross buns. They've done orange ones. You can get anything in a hot cross bun nowadays. They've gone like hot cross bun crazy. They have to keep mixing it up a bit like Christmas. Okay, next one. The Lindor Rabbit. I have had a Lindor Rabbit just the once, and I even kept the tiny bell for the longest amount of time. Why do you buy the Lindor Bunny? Because you want the tiny bell. Is it about the chocolate or is it about the bell? Me personally, I think a Lindor Bunny could be all year round. Next, we have the traditional chocolate nest. These are cornflakes generally with some golden syrup to hold it together, and then decorated with usually Cadbury's mini eggs. A staple all throughout when you're a child, making these with your parents, maybe giving them to your relatives. Next, we have egg and spoon. Now, my son personally went crazy for these. When these first came out, these were egg and spoon. So a tiny little egg where you break the top off with this spoon that comes with it. You get a little plastic spoon. You smack the top of the egg like you would do like a dippy egg. Take the lid off and then you eat it with the tiny spoon, which in concept is kind of fun. I mean, who wouldn't want a Cadbury's spoon with an egg? They also do Oreo ones, which my son actually had last year. He crazed to get these new Oreo ones. When I think it was last year or the year before, they did these Oreo ones with the spoon. They were new, and I tried for weeks to get him some of these, and then I ended up getting him a set, and he was like overjoyed. Mum of the year. Okay, next, Milky Bar mini eggs. Now, I personally not a fan of white chocolate. I don't know what it is about it. I think it's because it's too sickly. But then my eldest would argue that the dark chocolate I like is too sickly. I like dark chocolate that's proper dark. The cocoa content I've had before has been around about 60%. I like my proper dark chocolate. So the Cadbury's Bar mini eggs and the white Milky Bar bunny just wouldn't appeal to me. I just don't have a preference for white chocolate. But my son White chocolate all the way. Next, we have Smarties mini eggs. I've had these a couple of times. I'm not really a fan of them. I know you're going to say that Smarties normally, they're a kid thing, and they probably are more of a kid sweet. Running to the shop when you were little and getting a tube of Smarties for about 30 pence, you're probably £1 nowadays. But they were a staple as I was growing up as a child. My nan would always hear that rattling and you knew you were getting some Smarties. Next, we have Spring Oreos. Never had these in the UK. Don't know much about them, to be honest. Next, we have Easter egg Tootsie Pops. Now, don't really have that kind of thing in the UK. We don't really have lollies for Easter. It's not really a thing. And then you have Easter Skittles. Again, I'm not a big fan of Skittles personally. I've had Skittles before, but they take so much to chew, and the flavors are usually hit and miss, although there are so many types of Skittles you can get now. Easter Sunday M&Ms. I've never had M&Ms, I must say. I've never had any. They, again, are kind of not my type of chocolate. But I'm going to guess that Easter Sunday M&Ms probably tasted of like ice cream. And I'm not a big fan of ice cream either. I'm just such a boring person. Now, these are kind of nice. The Cadbury's Easter Nest Cakes are kind of like the ones from earlier. But these mini egg ones are the ones that we would traditionally eat in the UK. The ones you saw earlier were more the American ones. So definitely, an Easter cake is basically with a cake with some mini eggs on top. Usually you get like a center. And they're not too bad. Next, we have Lindor Surprise Chocolate Easter Bunny and a Kinder Egg. Now, I have had Kinder Eggs. I've had a lot of Kinder Eggs. I used to collect the toys in Kinder Eggs when I was little. It used to be a treat to get a Kinder Egg a week. I've never had a Kinder Egg Bunny. Never had one. Next, we have Jelly Bunnies. I can safely say I have never had Bassett's Jelly Bunnies. I've had their Jelly Babies, but I've never had Jelly Bunnies. I've never even seen Bassett's Jelly Bunnies. I'm sure they're out there, but I've personally never seen them. Next, we have the Cadbury's Dairy Milk Chocolate Easter Bar. This I actually have had. So basically, it's an Easter milk bar, and then the white center is obviously white chocolate. Again, white chocolate doesn't appeal to me, but because it was new, I thought I would try it. Moving on down, we have the Galaxy Caramel Eggs. So these were trying to compete with, obviously, the cream egg, and they fail. And the same with the Cadbury's Caramel Egg. You cannot compete with the daddy of Easter being the Cadbury's cream egg. They've now brought out Oreo ones. There's also a salted caramel mini egg now. But I hate to say it, Cadbury's cream egg will always have the title for me as the best Easter treat. Next, we have Easter Milk Chocolate Kisses. These are Hershey Kisses, and I've never had them either. Or the Hershey Solid Chocolate Bunny. We don't sell a huge amount of Hershey bars in the UK. They are around in selective stores, but Hershey isn't a big thing unless you get to around Valentine's, and then stores tend to sell more. Next, you have the Hershey's Milk Chocolate Covered Marshmallow Eggs. Again, Hershey's isn't really a big thing in the UK. There are selective stores, or if you go to the like international American stores that we have in the UK that import stuff, you might find some in there. Next, we have Hostess Hoppers. The only thing I've ever seen from Hostess in the UK are things like Twinkies. And even then, they were taken out of Tesco's recently because they did away with their international bit. Next, we have Carrot Cake. I personally am not a fan of vegetables in cakes. I don't know who first thought that cakes needed to have carrot in, but I'm not a big fan, and I find the frosting on a carrot cake is too sweet. Next, we have sweet tart bunnies. Again, these are an American Easter sweet. I've never had a sweet tart before. Never going to say that again. Next, you have yellow tulip cakes. Again, I think these are probably made by Hostess or somebody else, and they're just not a thing that we do in the UK. Next, you have Butterfinger eggs. Once again, another American sweet. We don't have a huge amount of Easter sweets in the UK. Next, you have Easter candy corn, because it wouldn't be a season if you didn't have candy corn. Candy corn is traditionally a Christmas American sweet, but they now do candy corn all year round. Next, you have Starburst jelly beans. Again, they have eggs that are Starburst with the jelly beans in. I'm not a big fan of jelly beans. I don't like the texture of the coating on them. It's just not for me. Moving on, we have a few more to go. We have the one, the only, the giant marshmallow bunny peep. These came out beside the chicks to give peeps something else for Easter, and I'm just not a big fan of peeps. I've had them I don't know if I've had peeps before. I think I might have tried them once, and apparently they're just so loaded with sugar. They literally make your teeth ugh. Next, we have foiled chocolate bunny. I have had a foiled chocolate bunny. You are in a cave if you haven't had a foil bunny. The same as you're in a cave if you've never had a foil colored chocolate Santa for Christmas. They are a staple for any kid when you're growing up to have one of these at least once. Next, we have robin's eggs again. These are American sweets again. You got the Haribo Easter egg mix, which is basically Haribo just in different forms. Haribo have it when it comes to sweets because they can just change a form of something. Valentine's, they have hearts. At Halloween, they have their scare mix. At Christmas, they have their Christmas mix. There's a Haribo for all seasons. Next, here we go. Crunchy Easter egg. Yes, it's not Easter if you don't have a crunchy egg. I used to always have a crunchy egg when I was little. And you get 2 mini little crunchies in it. Or you used to. You probably only get 1 now. Next, you've got the Dairy Milk Dime eggs. Now, I've only ever had a Dime bar a few times. It used to be my dad's favorite chocolate was a Dime bar. But you would be really hard pressed to find a Dime bar nowadays out there. Next, Cadbury's Cream Egg Twisted. Now, this has come and gone from shelves. I don't know if it ever came back. I absolutely loved eating these. They were basically cream egg, but they were twisted, and they came in a bar rather than egg. I thought they were good. Next, we have cream egg ice cream. Now, this is a newish thing. I've never had Cadbury's cream egg ice cream. I know it exists. I think Iceland had done one at one point that was in there, but I've never personally tried it. They also do the cream egg biscuits. I can't remember whether I've tried them ones. I know I tried cream egg ice cream where it came in a cone. They did Cadbury's cream egg ice cream in a cone at one point. Next, you've got the Hershey's Carrot Kisses. Of course, once again, never really had Hershey's in the UK. I've had a cookies and cream Hershey's bar before that I bought from one of the American stores in the UK. And then we have the carrot cake M&Ms, which I also haven't tried because, once again, the amount of M&M stuff that's brought out in the UK is very small unless they're massive, big new reveals. So here we had 17 out of 51. So you did better than 59% of users. Your rank was 209 out of 518. And you tied with the average amount is 17 out of 51. So I have to say that I'm not too shocked by that number. I'm not, like I said, a big fan of like chocolate. I don't eat chocolate just because it's Easter or just because it's Christmas or just because it's Valentine's. If I fancy a piece of chocolate on a Wednesday afternoon in March, then I'm just going to have a piece of chocolate. I don't necessarily need an occasion to have chocolate. But if your favorite Easter treat didn't feature in this video, let me know down below. What is your staple traditional Easter treat that you like to have? Maybe it wasn't featured on here. Let me know down below. Also, give it a big thumbs up if you want to help the channel, a PayPal, super chat, or a super thanks. Memberships are available now. I have 4 members, I think it is, or 5 currently. 99 pence a week. Plus, you get extra videos. Also, if you haven't checked out my new podcast that I'm doing, Sundays is going to be podcast day. I'm doing a podcast called It's Not All Doom and Gloom. First episode is already up. If you want to go check that out, it's about 20 minutes long. It's Getting to Know Raven, and we're hopefully going to do podcast Sundays for the foreseeable time. So if you want to check that out, go check it out. Like and subscribe, and I will see you very soon for another list challenge. Have a happy Easter. Thanks for watching.